I have a message for Donald J. Trump. Sir, thank you. Thank you from all of us Americans who voted for you. Thank you for bringing joy and safety and love back to America. I am so thankful. I feel like the world is a safer place now, thanks to you, Donald J. Trump.
I voted for my own job loss, like a damn fool. And I ain't ashamed to admit I won't do that again.
Every time I see an article about something shitty that Trump or somebody in his administration is pulling, and I see somebody in the comment section thinking that they're having a gotcha moment when they say, "Hey, MAGA, is this what you voted for? What do you think of this? Is America great again? It just reminds me that very few people in America seem to actually understand the driving force of the MAGA mentality, and that is this. MAGA and people who support Donald Trump value the misery of their enemies over their own happiness. If you gave the average conservative in America these two choices, either they have a great life, but everybody they hate also has a great life, or they have a miserable life, but the lives of everybody they hate are 100 times more miserable, they will choose the second choice every single time, 10 out of 10 times. That is why people vote for Donald Trump. They don't actually think he's going to make their lives better. They just think he's the best opportunity to make the lives of the people that they were told to hate by the media they consume terrible. And that is why MAGA is so scared all the time and always in fear, because MAGA doesn't define themselves by who they are. They define themselves by who they aren't, be it minorities or gay people or communists. They're always being told what to fear and what they aren't. And that is why they're so inconsistent in their beliefs, because they don't have a solid sense of self. They just have a solid sense of what they aren't. So when we work to dismantle the MAGA mentality in these upcoming years, we need to have this mindset at the forefront of our minds, or else we're never going to figure this out.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're revisiting a question that has been on everyone's mind. MAGA, right? What has Trump done for you? How has your life really improved since Trump got into office, right? Beyond the speeches, beyond the hype, what has really changed? Right? Have your bills gone down? Have your wages gone up? Has your community benefited, or is it just more chaos? Right? Let's watch the clips and we'll be back with more commentary. Shout out to all the original creators, and this is just for commentary and educational purposes. Let's watch and we'll be back.
Can you think of anything he could do to lose your support?
No. I think I trust him more than I trust any other person in power.
What is it about him? Like, how can you define that?
I just feel like if everyone in power, everyone on TV hates him so much, like, there's a reason for it.
Hold up, let me get this right. You forgive him. You forgive Donald Trump. You hold space and grace in your heart for the things he says and the things he does and the person he is. You forgive him. There isn't a soundbite or a testimony that can come out that would make you change the permission you've already given this man to be himself. You forgive him. It could be rape. It has been rape, and you forgive him. It could be racist. It has been racist, and you forgive him. It could be some of the most negative and unnecessarily insulting and vile and irresponsible and irrational and unlawful behavior, and you forgive it because you forgive him. And I think you forgive him because I think he excuses you. I think he gives you permission to love the parts of yourself that should and need to change. I think he gives you permission to love the parts of yourself that are hateful and bigoted and oppressive and close-minded. I think he gives you permission to love these things because he is these things. And he is these things loudly and proudly in front of everyone. And if he can do that there, you can do that at your table or in your community, at your kids' soccer games, or in your Walmarts or in your churches. You can too be hateful and bigoted and oppressive and small-minded. He represents you. He represents those things within you, so you forgive him. He hates the same people you hate, not because they're dangerous or bad, but because they look, love, and live different than you. And the fact that he gets to hate them out loud makes you feel so comfortable hating them inside, so you forgive him. And that makes it really hard to forgive you.
Regina Foley messaged me, and she says she is retired in Greensboro, North Carolina. She is a registered Republican all her life. She voted for you 3 different times, but she is not happy about how her prices have not come down that she sees. And she said this, quote, "I want the Republicans to keep control of Congress in 2026, but something has to be done fast. I don't see the best economy right now. Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something, President Trump." So I guess what do you say to Regina and people like her?
Well, I do say this. Beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down.
What do you think about groceries still being expensive, even though Trump is president still, Mother?
Groceries have been expensive since the pandemic.
But I thought Trump was going to lower the prices and the cost.
Nick.
He's a phony.
Whatever.
No, he's a phony.
How can you expect a man to fix something?
He said it day one.
Nick.
How come everybody I know of that went to college is a Biden supporter?
Yeah.
And I don't understand how everybody is a Biden supporter if you just went to college. So what are they teaching in this college? Are they teaching anything?
Stuff like inclusivity and respecting other people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, woke.
Yeah, wokeness.
Trump was the better option. Now, before you think you have found yourself in the wrong side of TikTok, this isn't about politics, but this is about consciousness. I was actually having a conversation with my 15-year-old daughter who told me about her classmate. He said that Trump was the better person. So at first, my daughter, being the humanitarian that she is, was like, how could anyone think like that? And from her point of view, all she saw was really the surface. This kid just doesn't want a woman to be president. And that is what he picked up from his parents. And so that's all she could actually see. But when she said that out loud, Trump was the better option. When she said that one line, it made me pause. Because from a spiritual perspective, I actually agree. Now, hear me out. Not because Trump is better, but because humanity needed a wake-up call. If Kamala had won, most people would have kept sleeping, still trusting politics, still trusting the government, still blind to how corrupt the system really is. Trump brought chaos, and that chaos is shaking people awake, making us look deeper. And so the mirror was that Kamala was selling people on humanity, and Trump was selling people on survival and money. And that's actually the reflection of our collective consciousness and where it's still at. We're stuck in survival mode, greediness, and separation. So the truth will set us free. The mirror is showing us exactly where we are now as a collective. We needed to see the darkest part of our consciousness so that the next time we can consciously choose the light. Because sometimes the better option is the one that actually forces us to wake up. So yes, Trump was the better option, not because of who he is, but because his chaos is forcing humanity to wake the fuck up so we can finally shift into unity, into truth, and to start building a new earth.
If you have to use SNAP benefits, you should get a job. And if you have a job that doesn't pay enough, you should get a better job. And if you don't qualify for a better job, you should get a college degree. But don't complain about your student loan debt and don't expect any kind of student loan forgiveness. And after all of that, if you still have to be on government assistance, you should always be thinking about how poor you are, and you should look poor, and you should act poor, and you should never get anything that brings you a single moment of joy because you don't deserve dignity because you're poor. But I can't wait this Christmas season to do my angel tree and provide Christmas for a child.
My life is a lot worse with Trump as president. And that's not even what my political thought is based on anyway, but it's so frustrating that so many of you are trying to convince me that my life is better now that he's president, when that couldn't be farther from the truth. So number one, the homophobia that I've received has gone from here to here since Trump became president again. People feel so empowered and people say the nastiest things, not just in TikTok comments, but walking down the street. I used to not get comments, things were fine, and now people just shout the worst things. It is not a coincidence that this is happening now. People feel empowered, and people know they can be hateful because they see it from the highest level of our nation. Number two, I'm a teacher. Education has been completely attacked and obliterated by Republicans. We have very little freedom. Our classes are losing money. I have to pay for more than I've ever had to pay for out of pocket. And my students are scared to come to school. I have students who are immigrants, and it's frustrating. I also teach in a dual language program, English and Spanish, and people think that that shouldn't be allowed. when every single study on this topic shows how much it helps kids. Third, I live in a community of immigrants. I'm one of the only people who's not an immigrant near where I live, and people say all the time to me, well, you're not an immigrant, immigration doesn't affect you. Immigration could not affect me more, even though I'm not an immigrant. Everybody else that lives in my house with me is an immigrant. Pretty much everybody on my street's an immigrant. All the food I eat is produced by immigrants where I live. I literally depend on immigrants for my health and my safety. So it affects me a lot. So my life is so much worse with Trump as president, because even the production in my community is so far down because of how people are feeling and what's happening around us. My personal identity is being attacked. My profession is being attacked. It's all being attacked. And as much as I would like to act like I can get through this and things are going to be fine, it hurts a lot. A lot. And so when I hear people say, well, your life is better under Trump, I'm like, first of all, that's not even what my politics are based on. My politics are based on what is going to uplift the most vulnerable of us, even if it means I don't get as much. But second of all, my life actually is much worse under Trump. Much, much worse.
So it's hard not to notice the gap between promise and reality, right? Some people are living the American dream, but many people are still struggling, especially the MAGA people, right? Especially people that voted for the administration, right? Yet the rhetoric keeps going louder than ever. It's like watching a show where you already know the plot twist, and you can laugh, you can shake your head, but it's also kind of sad, right? It makes you wonder how much people notice versus how much they ignore, right? And whether life under Trump is actually better or just different. It's a reflection on politics, promises, and what really matters day to day. But I hope this commentary makes you think a little bit deeper. MAGA, the far right, conservative, white Christian nationalists, this is for you guys. But don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tapping in when you saw this, and as usual, I'll see you on my next one.